Hi everyone! So today I'm going over my process for meal planning. I always have people asking me to please help them figure out how to meal plan and prep for the week. I like to plan everything out for the week, do all of my meal prep on Sunday, and have all of my meals ready to go during the busy work week. With children in school, after school activities every day, and some late nights, it is so nice to be able to just come home, heat something up really quick, or grab it from the fridge and have it ready to put on the table for dinner. So this video is kind of longer than my normal one, and it's a couple of different meal prep days because I want you to really see my process for what I do. I break it up over 5 days. And so like usually on Mondays, I'll go ahead and plan out my grocery list for the next week. On Thursdays, I do my grocery shopping. On Fridays, I plan my prep, which includes things like starting sprouts, soaking seeds, soaking beans and things that I want to cook for next week, soaking nuts to make my dressings and stuff like that. And then on the weekend, I make my dressings on one day. That usually doesn't take very long. I have a Vitamix, which makes it super easy. And so I'll make all of my dressings on Saturday usually, and pre-cook any beans. So if I'm going to make things like bean burgers, I need to cook the beans in advance. So I'll cook the beans on Saturday so that on Sunday I can go ahead and make the bean burgers. And then on Sunday, it's mostly just chopping. Chopping everything for my everyday salad, chopping vegetables for roasting and stuff like that. So I hope that these videos help you. The first one is going to be my process for how I plan out my grocery list and do the meal planning. And then the second one, I'll be going over 2 different meal prep Sundays. So I hope this helps. Today I am meal planning. So I thought maybe I would help you with that, show you at least what I do. And so the first thing I do is on a piece of paper, I write down all the days. So we do all of our grocery shopping on Thursday. So usually I'll start putting the grocery list together on Monday. And so I'll think about it starting with Thursday. I'll write down on a piece of paper, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, again. And so then I will look at our calendar. And so school has started here where I am, and we have really late nights on Monday nights and Tuesday nights. So I know that I need to make dinner ahead of time for Monday and Tuesday. So I'll write late on my schedule next to Monday and Tuesday. If there is a football game on Thursday night, sometimes it's Thursday, not really. That was middle school. Friday night, I'll write down football game, so I'll know we need to eat before the game or figure something out for that as well. So then I'll think about what I want to have for dinner on each of those days. And so a lot of times I'd like to be creative. I like to do something different every day. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have Taco Tuesday and Pizza Friday. And so that's easy to put on your grocery list. But I like to go through different themes. And so we'll have like Asian night one night. We'll have an Italian night one night. A Mexican night one night. You see what I mean? And so I'll go through and come up with dinner options for all of those days. And so I'll write them down, and then I'll write down the ingredients I need for that dinner. Then I write down lunches and what I want to make for lunches. I make my everyday salad. There's videos out there for that. Many of you have seen that. I even had a recent email that went out telling you how I make an everyday salad, or how you can make your own DIY salad kit even. So I'll write down the ingredients I need for that, what types of dressings I need, what I want to go with that. Maybe I want some lentils, maybe I want some hummus, maybe I want a chickpea tuna or something like that. And then I'll write down my breakfast. And so usually it's some sort of green smoothie, chia pudding, overnight oats, whatever. I'll write down what I'm going to have for those days. So a lot of times people will say, but I don't want to have to plan all of my days. Well, if health is one of your goals, then it's probably better to plan. I think it's Chef AJ always says, failure to plan is planning to fail. And so that's kind of a negative way to look at it, but sometimes that is helpful. And so I do plan all of my meals. If we end up going out one night, that's fine. Then we just have that dish another night. Or if I change my mind, maybe I wake up on Sunday morning and I want to make a big breakfast, not a smoothie, then that's okay. So you can see, so this is what I have for this week. Here's my grocery list. And you can see I have like Friday night is green pea and edamame soup with some sprouts and so forth. And so I wrote it all down, and then at the bottom, sometimes I'll write down where I find it, or I'll circle where I found it. You know, if this recipe was something I saved on Facebook, I'll write a FB next to it. If it's in a certain cookbook, I'll write down what cookbook it came out of. Anyway, and then I write all of the groceries down on the same piece of paper. So on the left-hand side, I have all of my ingredients, starting with produce. I try to put it in the same layout as the grocery store. On the right-hand side, you can see I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all the way down, and then I have my lunches and my salads and salad dressing even. So then, after we go to the grocery store, before I do my food prep, I flip it over and I write everything down again. So for the soup, you can see I need onion, garlic, water, salt, hemp, sprouts, peas, and edamame. So I write it all down so I'll know what I need to get out to make that. Then if you look at coconut soup, I have 2 sweet potatoes and I highlighted it. So that means I need to do something ahead of time for those sweet potatoes. This one just happens to be sweet potato noodles. So I need to make the noodles into, the sweet potatoes into noodles. And then you can see on the next one, I needed a cup of lentils already cooked. And so I do that ahead of time. So when I get to prep day, which is Sundays, I want to make sure I already have my sprouted quinoa for number 5, my cooked lentils for number 3, and my sweet potato noodles for number 2. So those all need to be prepared ahead of time. So I do this usually on Friday, so I'll know what I need to do ahead of time. So if I start my sprouted quinoa on Friday, they'll be ready when I'm ready to do prep on Sunday. Then over here on the other side, I have pickled daikon, and then the other things that I want to make today, and even my dressing. I have a question mark by Tofu Caesar. I'm not sure if I'm going to make that or not. Anyway, so the next thing I'm going to do, if I can walk over, I got all of my ingredients out. I took everything out of the refrigerator, washed it, and I have it all ready. So you can see it here. I'm gonna have all of my ingredients here. If I come closer, you can see I have carrots and onions in here. I come around my greens, you can see everything. There's even some purple cabbage hidden under here somewhere. I have my sweet potatoes under here. I already did my sweet potato noodles. I have some cashews soaking for dressing. I even have some almonds soaking here. And then I have my kale and mushrooms here. And then also, I already have my sheet pans out with my parchment paper, and I have jars and bowls to put things in as I prepare them. So I'm gonna be making beet burgers. I'll need the sheet pans for that. I'm making a dressing, so I'm gonna need a jar for that. I'm making a cabbage salad that can go in one of these bowls. And I can't remember the other, some kind of salad I'm making in that bowl. And then I'm going to repurpose these. As I use these ingredients, these bowls will be ready to make my salads in. Anyway, I will touch back with you as I get through my prep. You can see here that I am sprouting my seeds. And so I have here some lentils, I have some adzuki beans here, and then I have some quinoa that is sprouting here in this drain board. And so I'm going to be using the adzuki beans just in place of some beans this week. I'm sprouting them. And the lentils, I'm sprouting them. I am going to be making a smoky lentil dish with roasted vegetables. So that's what that's for. And here I am cooking some sprouted lentils. Can you see the little sprouts in here? And so I'm cooking these to make some burgers out of lentils. So on Sunday, when I go to make all of my dishes, then I'll have these cooked ready for my burgers. I'll have all my sauces already made, my dressings made, and everything is already sprouted. The lentils that I'm sprouting over there will be ready to make with the roasted vegetable dish. Okay, here is my list for the week, what I picked out for each day. You can see Friday I'm having kale carrot salad with tofu, and I wrote down week 5, so that's where I can find it. So if I was using a cookbook or something, I would write the name of the cookbook here, or if I was using a blog, I'd write the name of the blog name here. So before I begin any of my meal prep, over on the side, I will go through the recipe and write down what ingredients. And so for the kale salad, I need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm gonna need a lemon for lemon juice. I'm going to need kale, oranges, carrots, and walnuts. Seems like something else, but I'll come up with that. And I'm gonna need tofu. So I'm not going to do anything with the tofu today. That's why I circled it. That I always circle when there's something else I want to do later. So then I'm gonna draw a line. So here's Saturday. So Saturday, I'm making eggplant curry with potatoes. So I need an onion, I need 3 garlic cloves, I need an eggplant, I need 2 cans of tomatoes. So I don't need to do anything with that. I can go ahead and chop the onion and the garlic. And I'm going to want curry powder, cumin, coconut milk, and cilantro. I'm not going to cook the potatoes ahead of time, though I could if I wanted to. So then I go to lentils. Well, lentils, I'm going to need to cook them ahead of time. So I'm going to circle that. Usually I'll get a highlighter and even highlight it. And so I know I need to cook the lentils. And then I'm going to have a spinach salad with pecans. So I'm going to cook the lentils. I need that ahead of time. And then I'm going to have 2 sweet potatoes and so on and so forth. So you can see what I'm doing. So I'm writing down as I go along. Here are tahini burgers. I make my tahini burgers with lentils. So I'm going to need to make more lentils. And my broccoli soup, I can make the base for that ahead of time. The kale chips, I can make the dressing ahead of time. So I'm going to circle that. I have another YouTube video on making kale chips. It's so easy, but you just make like a salad dressing and make the kale chips. Here is a black bean stuffed sweet potato. That is a black bean chili. I can definitely make the chili ahead of time. Here's another lentils. You can see, so I've got lentils already 3 in a row. And so I can go ahead and get them soaking. And then I have yogurt and sprouts. I like to have different kinds of sprouts each week. Sometimes I have broccoli sprouts. It just depends. And so I'm going to want to make a dressing here, the vegan ranch. So I'll write down the ingredients for that. My chopped salad jars, peach buckwheat pudding. I don't need to do much. I'll do that the night before. I'll go ahead and make a couple of those. Tofu scramble, energy soup. I wrote 3 here and I put in parentheses, that is to remind me I want to make 3 days worth. And the chia pudding, I want to make 2 days worth. And so I'm going to finish filling this out and I'll show you what mine looks like. Actually, I have already done this ahead of time. I just forgot to show you until now. So here is my sheet. So some other things. See, I made some bagels, and so I wrote down what I wanted to go in that. That's not my recipe, so I'm not going to tell you more about that. So here we go. You can see I highlighted the lentils, so I'd remember to do them ahead of time. Here. I needed cashews, so I soaked the cashews. More lentils. I made the yogurt. Did my sprouts. My ranch dressing, I already made that. I highlighted here romaine in yellow to remind me not to chop up romaine because I'm using the romaine as a wrap, so I need some large leaves. I don't want to chop all of it. And I highlighted the buckwheat, so I remember to soak the buckwheat. So tomorrow I'm going to finish chopping all of these. So everything else just needs to be chopped. Some things will need to be cooked ahead of time, but my lentils are ready for everything. My cashews and my sauces are already made. Okay, now that I have my list together with what I need to chop today is prep day. The first thing I'm going to do is take everything out of the refrigerator that I'm going to be chopping today and wash them and put them all in a bowl, have everything all together so that I can chop like all the onions at one time, all the carrots at one time, and things like that. So I'm gonna get everything out of the refrigerator and put it by the sink, wash it all, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, now I have everything washed and ready to do my meal prep. I've got some cans to make black bean chili. There's chickpeas behind that. I can't remember what those are for. The tahini to make a sauce. I have cashews here soaking to make the sauce for my kale chips. I did not wash the kale yet because I'm gonna just make the kale chips the night that we're going to eat them because we like them nice and crispy. But I have everything else ready to make my salads and sauces and everything. So my next step is going to be looking at each recipe and seeing what type of container I need for them. So let's go and look at our... So I have my list here, And I'm making a dressing for the kale chips. And so I have a pint jar here to make my dressing. I'm going to make because I make vegan burgers, I'm gonna make like a batter out of lentils. And so that is gonna go in here and just sit in the refrigerator until I'm ready to cook them. My husband and daughter don't like them as leftovers. I do. So the night we're going to eat them, I will put them in the oven. So I'm not gonna pre-cook them. I'm just gonna have the batter ready to form into patties. And then I have these 2 large bowls with lids to store soup and roasted vegetables. I will go ahead and roast the vegetables and go ahead and make the soup. And then these 2 quart jars are to make the breakfast. So I will make energy soup in one and a chia pudding in the other. And each one will be for 2 breakfasts. And so that was 4 breakfasts right there. And then I went ahead and got out my sheet pans and my parchment paper so that I'm all ready. So the next thing I'm going to do is preheat the oven and have it ready to go, get out my cutting board, and then organize everything. So when you look over at the list, I just need to pick what I want to make first. And so if I'm going to make these salad jars, I put the ingredients over here. I'm going to need to make the sauce that goes on the bottom, and that is tahini and lemon, salt, and water. So I'm going to make the dressing that is for each salad jar. So I do need to remember to get out another quart jar for each one of those. I do make these in pints normally, but because I do eat an vegan diet, I need a large salad to get all of the nutrients and calories that I want. And so I'm going to make these in quart jars. So I put the dressing in first, and then I put the rest of the ingredients. When I am chopping things like carrots, you can see I have carrots here. I have carrots, where else? I'm gonna be looking, I need 2 carrots here. This is for roasted vegetables. And so I wanna make sure that I do that. And I need carrots here also roasted, and so I'm going to be chopping those. So I can go ahead and chop all those carrots at the same time. So I'm going to do that with each thing. So when I get down here where I need bell pepper, I want bell pepper here, and then I'm going to want some bell pepper for the salad wrap. I'm going to want bell pepper in my black bean chili, in my soup, and so you can see I'm going to be chopping all of those at the same time too. Okay, so while the shelves are bare, because I've got everything washed and ready to go, it's the perfect time to wipe down the shelves to keep the refrigerator nice and clean. So the only thing I have in my refrigerator are my dressings. I pre-made my dressings on Friday, except for the one for the kale chips. So I guess I forgot the kale chips. And so what's left in here, I already chopped everything for my burger nights. And then up here are just the chopped, these are collard leaves that are ready for wraps, and then just my salad greens that are ready to make smoothies, and my celery for juice. Down here I already have breakfast ready for tomorrow, so I need to make breakfast for other days. This is my daughter's smoothie that she just put back in here. Other than that, I have this is supposed to be a citrus drawer, but it's also the overflow, and down here is more fruit. And then in here, I just have a bag of romaine that I am not going to need for today. Okay, so we have several really late nights coming up. My angle is a little strange, isn't it, here? And so I need to look at my list and see what I need to have ready to just grab and eat when we get home. So I know one night we can have soup, and so I'm gonna go ahead and make the soup. All I have to do is heat it up. And another night is a lentil wrap. So I can just make the lentil salad, have it ready to go. I already have some collard leaves that we can use, and then I can also use those romaine leaves as well. And so those 2 dinners will be super easy. Warm up the soup one night, done. Scoop the lentil salad into the wraps, done. Did I have anything to go with that? I did not, but it's later in the week. And so we'll probably have some leftovers too. So we can have some leftovers from another night. So I need to go ahead and pre-cook those things. And one night we're going to have something with roasted vegetables. I can't remember what it was. And so I'm going to go ahead and chop and roast those vegetables, and then we can just heat them up on that night. Tonight we're having lentil burgers and another set of roasted vegetables. So I'm going to go ahead and chop everything for those. Actually, the lentil burgers the vegetables are already chopped in the fridge. I just showed you that. And so let me see. I will go ahead and chop. Well, I'll just chop everything for the soup and chop everything for my other roasted vegetable night. I'm making a sauteed spinach one night. I'm not going to pre-cook that. Spinach is really quick and easy to cook, and so I'm just gonna leave that to the side. See if I need to chop anything to go with it. Maybe dice some onions or some garlic or something like that for a sauce. For the kale chips, I told you I'll cook those right before we eat them because I want them nice and crispy, but I'll go ahead and wash the kale and tear it into chip-sized pieces. All right, and so the first thing I'm going to do is make sure I have a bowl to discard all of my scraps. We do compost, hopefully you do too, but I'm going to chop my onion. Because it is roasted, I'm just going to cut it in half and then cut it in kind of large slices. Can you even see what I'm doing here? So large slices. Now, onions do make me cry, so I may start crying in a minute, but I'm just gonna leave them kind of large because I'm also roasting sweet potatoes and they take a little bit longer to roast. Onions, my cauliflower. I'm gonna cut off that base first. Ooh, here come the waterworks from the onions. And then I'm going to stand it up, cut it into quarters. Ooh, that onion is burning me. And then the easiest thing to do, I can't see because of the onions, is stand it up, and then I can just kind of cut around here. And I just cut the core off. This part I can discard, and then this part I can break apart into florets. For any large pieces like this one, I'm gonna cut them in half. Or quarters if they're really big. This one's actually pretty big. And I will do that again. Now, the weeks that we eat all raw, which I'll be doing later, are even easier because I can just break everything ahead of time. So break that apart. And you can see. And then when I get to the sweet potatoes, I'm just gonna cut the ends off. And then I'm going to dice them. Okay, and then my sweet potato, I cut it kind of into large slices. And then I cut it into bite-sized pieces. So like that. So I'm going to just continue doing this with the cauliflower and the sweet potatoes and put this in the oven and then start chopping everything for my soup. Okay, so I finished, the chili's ready, everything's ready for the broccoli soup. I have all my vegetables chopped and ready to be roasted or roasted. I did roast some for my really late nights. I went ahead and made energy soup, breakfast, and chia puddings. Those are in the fridge, and all I have left to do is my salad for the week. So when you eat like I do, you want to make sure that your salads are huge. And so I am making my salad in a big bowl. This will last for the whole week, but I'm going to be using a half a head of cabbage. I have some, this is what is this, bok choy? Napa cabbage. The rest of a Napa cabbage. I have the rest of a romaine, and then I have bell pepper. When I prep a salad, I like to put cucumber in there, but I remove the seeds. And so a melon baller or even a tablespoon is great to scrape out those cucumber seeds. And then I will add carrots. And so all of those will go in this bowl. And this week I'm going to even add a can of chickpeas to that, just to add some extra protein and B vitamins to my everyday salad. Anyway, I'll show you my fridge when I get everything in there and show you that I'm all prepped for the week. Okay, here's my completed prep. I have my mushrooms that are ready to roast tonight with the greens behind there. I have my chili ready for black bean chili sweet potatoes. In the back, I have vegetables that are ready for roasting. Here is my batter for my lentil burgers. Is that what they're called? Tahini burgers. I made some almond milk. I have all my dressings. I have my everyday salad. On top are the kale chips, actually the pre-kale chips. That's just the kale that is ready to go. Here I have I can't remember what that is. Vegetables that are already roasted. No, that's everything for my broccoli soup. I'm just gonna throw it in there. And I already made, I don't know if you can see behind the peanut butter is, oops. Behind the peanut butter is, this is for soup. So this goes in the broccoli soup. So I'm just gonna pour that in a pot, throw in my vegetables that are already roasted, and then that soup will be fabulous. Behind there I have a lentil salad ready for wraps, and underneath are my smoky lentils. And the background there are vegetables ready to be roasted for tonight. That is green beans and things like that. Here are some leftovers for lunches. Here and here, leftover tofu scramble, leftover curry, and then my daughter's smoothie and breakfast for the next 3 days. And then down here are my dressings for the week. And remember, I write eat if it's something you can go ahead and eat. If it doesn't say eat, then that is for another meal. Anyway, I hope this helped you with planning and prepping your meals for the week.